Hi everyone, welcome again to Squiz Summit 2020. So my name is Sarah Sahune and I am the Global Product Marketing Manager for Squiz Workplace, which essentially means I spend my time obsessing over employee experience, digital workplaces, and understanding more of your challenges and goals as HR and internal comms professionals. Today's talk is all about leveraging tech for greater employee experience. So it will touch on the employee journey, some elements of the digital employee experience, and really, hopefully it should help you create a solid business case for leveraging that greater tech to better partner with your IT teams internally within your organizations. The talk will be presented by Andrew Byrne, our sales engineer, and Ash Karelia, our customer success manager. So on that note, I'm going to pass it over to Ash to kick us off.
Thank you, Sarah, and welcome everyone to the Summit breakout session on Squiz Workplace. So let's start with discussing what employee experience really is. There's too many definitions thrown around on the interweb, and one of the definitions by Gallup, it's somewhat my personal favorite. It kind of encapsulates everything about employee experience. It says, the employee experience is the journey an employee takes with your organization. It includes every interaction that happens along the employee lifecycle, plus the experiences that involve an employee's role, workspace, manager, and well-being. This is a very standard definition, but over the period of time, the employee experience has evolved. There are a fair few factors which affect the employee experience. One of them is globalization. What I want to do next is have a look at the employee experience from different point of views and how it has evolved. Let's have a look at the employee journey. With the option to do remote and flexible working, the working hours are no longer set in stone from 9 to 5. Juggling family and the other commitments while you're working into the mix, and the hours are even more distributed. I know when I'm working from home, I sometimes have to go and pick up my kid, drop him off at school. So I'm even working outside my working hours, generally, which would stop at 5 o'clock. How many of us are guilty of checking the work emails and communications long after we have shut the laptop down? I know I am. This is possible and a lot more common now due to the technology and the handheld devices. In this given day and age, the employee journey interaction with the organization is 24/7 journey. Let's talk about digital complexity. There's too many digital touch points within the organization and the employees. This has led to more and more digital apps and channels. The more complex the tech is, the lower the adoption is, which in turn affects the employee experience, which is a really bad employee experience, to be honest. A typical employee spends up to 5 hours a week searching for the information. This is because the information is distributed within different systems. There's no single source of truth. What about CX and EX, so customer experience and employee experience? It is no secret that everyone enjoys feeling recognized. When an employee makes their team feel valued, retention soars. This, when topped with personalized employee experience, creates brand loyalty. When company shows that they care, they inspire employees to care in return. The brand advocacy starts in-house. This is what I feel personally. Studies have shown that through social advocacy and family and friends, the conversion rates are 7% higher. Research also shows that 12% increase in brand advocacy can double your increase in revenue growth. And this last point, it's a given. A lot of employees interact with the customers on a daily basis. They have the power to deliver a great CX if they are in happy and friendly environments. We at Squiz have noticed in recent years that there's a very high focus on employee experience. This particular survey sort of visualizes the trend that we have seen at Squiz. If you look at the results of this survey, greater focus on employee experience has been ranked the topmost HR function that's likely to change in 2020. This is ranking higher than the focus on technology and even applying people analytics across HR. What I want to highlight over here is the survey results are based on non-pandemic pandemic circumstances we are currently in. The survey was done in late 2019 and published in 2020. We'll park the survey for time being, but we'll return to the survey in a bit. COVID as a catalyst to the employee experience. We all know there's two different worlds now, a pre-COVID world and a post-COVID world. With pre-COVID, if we talk about the employee experience, it was all about the office perks. So think about standing desk, nap pods, bring your dog to work day, social events, or even free lunches. Before COVID became the dominating force in our lives, the boundaries of employee experience were fairly defined. Employee journey was 9 to 5, and major lifetime milestones. In 2017, a good number of people felt that working from office was quite productive for them. That's 48% of employees under 35 years of age, which is a very large working population. What happened post-COVID? Many of these perks which were focused around the physical office space are no longer relevant today. The time is now to reset employee experience during the COVID-19 pandemic to create a more meaningful and lasting emotional connection between employee and employers. Unlike before, the employee journey is blurred between the work and personal life, which demands a great deal of flexibility, both from employees and employers. Compared to 2017, in 2020, 80% of the employees felt they were more productive working from home. Gartner estimates more than 88% of the organizations globally have encouraged or mandated employees to work from home during this COVID situation. Let's go back to the survey we were having a look a few minutes ago. If you look at the survey again, for a couple of, you can be sure about the percentage participants in the survey in favor of greater employee experience has only gone higher because of the world we are in right now. There are multiple reasons for the higher percentage which agrees on employee experience now, like lack of one-on-one conversations with your colleagues, having a sip of water at the water cooler and just talking about your day, or even sharing a joke. Employees, they miss the personal touch. It could also be the burn down that people or employee are feeling, trying to juggle between the increasing demands from the employer and the family. COVID has separated the workforce physically to a very great extent, affecting the employee experience. I personally haven't seen my colleagues for the last 6 months now, and that kind of affects the employee experience as well as the mental state. Employee experience is quite necessary for an organization as it is for the employees. Attracting and retaining great talent is helpful, but there are other perks for organizations here too. If you look at this particular survey, the vertical red dotted line that you see is the benchmark where it shows companies that do not invest in employee experience. Anything on the right-hand side, the darker blue, is the benefits that the organization is reaping while they have invested in, not while, but I would say because they have invested in the employee experience. Organizations which have invested in employee experience, they have 4 times the profit per employee. Think about an organization that has hundreds of staff. This number is just huge. They also enjoy 4 times the average profits, more than twice the revenue, 1.5 times the average employee pay, and just over about 10% in terms of the employee growth. 10% might not look like a big number, but if you look at an organization which have hundreds of staff, a 10% is a huge number. However, what is interesting is, although 80% of the executives rated employee experience as a very important factor in their organization, only 22% had the capability for building personalized employee experience. How do you foster an effective digital workplace? If I show you this image, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? For me, it's technological chaos. Technological chaos pretty much means too many technologies or too many systems. If I give you an example of too many systems within your workplace or your organization, it would be payrolls, calendars or rostering systems, even emails, document management systems, learning systems, LDAP or staff directory, or even CRMs. This I'm not including even the softwares that you use on a daily basis, like it would be Google Doc or it could be PowerPoints, anything that you use for collaboration. Organizations use on an average 16 SaaS applications. This is up from an average of 8 applications in 2015. And the trend is only going to go stronger over the period of next few years. There generally is a lack of a single portal where employees can go and get the information from all these different systems or are able to access all these different systems from a single portal or single digital workplace. So what can an organization do to overcome technological chaos and shape virtual culture? We spoke about employees at the water cooler. This water cooler or the hangout needs to be transformed into a virtual space now. There is a need for two-way communication channels rather than just a vertical or horizontal communication channel. Without employee feedback, employee experience cannot be improved. All the organizations, they need to have a good quality information and communications or a quantitative information and communication. And since there's no physical space, there is a need to be a balance between virtual workspace and a virtual social space. Let me give you a real world example over here. Every one of us have done an online flight check-in. We have communicated over social media. We have searched and booked a table at our favorite restaurants, or even Googled and have a look at a video to make a really good souffle. What you're doing here is you're combining your ability to use digital technology with the ambition to improve your life with it. This can be done for the technologies and systems at work or the organization too. Andrew, who's co-presenting with me today, he'll get into a bit more details around this and how employee experience can be improved a great deal digitally. So we talk about the employee experience, we talk about the investments, and we talk about the benefits, but how can an organization measure the return of investment and the investments it's doing for employee experience? Here are a few measurable business values: employee engagement, employee satisfaction, and employee productivity. What I'll do is I want to dive into each one of this a little bit more and talk about them from the point of view of how the organizations are benefiting from employee experience. Employees who are well engaged, which is a result of a great employee experience, are 27% more likely to report excellent performance. When employees' engagement increases, there is a corresponding increase in employee retention by up to 87%. Another study has indicated a high-performing employee have 3 things in common: talent, high engagement, and 10 plus years of service within a company. Organizations that have installed digital workplace tools, which are, of course, internally, have found a median 20% increase in employee satisfaction. That's a huge number in terms of employee satisfaction. Organizations with strong online digital workplace are 7% more productive than those without. Furthermore, productivity improves by 20 to 25% in an organization with well-connected employees. When a digital workplace is implemented well, employees spend fewer hours searching for the correct information through a single portal. That's a lot of information about employee experience, how it benefits, return of investment. But how does this translate into Squiz Workplace, which has, how does it translate into what Squiz Workplace has offered to our existing clients and can offer to our prospective customers? Please allow me to hand it over to Andrew, who will take you through some of the aspects we have discussed so far from point of view of Squiz Workplace. Over to you, Andrew.
Thanks very much for that introduction. And let's hope we can go through a few of those points together now. Okay, so what we've been discussing there was obviously that experience, digital complexity, and fostering digital culture, which is something that I'd like to run through now. So these aren't something that we can unpack overnight. There are many tools out there that can help us do these things, but really it's a journey with an organization, with your tech as well as your culture. And it's the cumulative effect of these tactics to improve the employee experience. So look, technically, we're trying to reduce that overhead and the difficulty for users to access the content and the systems. So we can get some of the big stuff ticked off. Obviously, we've got Squiz Workplace, which is a cloud-hosted product. So being on that platform, it's easy for users to engage with this globally from any device. Obviously, security is a big part of that still, and we can restrict or allow access based on individual needs. But we can still synchronize all that data so the users can have a very seamless experience. Logging into a system can be a process of a single click or a login from their existing computer once we've got everything integrated. And once they've logged into the system, we've already got a lot of information about them, so we can actually pre-fill all that information into their profiles. That becomes really valuable about understanding who the user is and where they're coming from. So they get a really seamless experience as soon as they access it for the first time. Obviously, we're looking at a system which is, again, mobile and responsive. So a mobile first design approach. So everybody's getting the same experience regardless of the device they're on and where they're coming from. So practically to engage these users, we're looking to get content accuracy and honesty, and sometimes creativity, you know. So we can get that honesty and creativity directly from our staff, as well as in our internal comms team, through the news that we're creating. And I mean, Squiz Workplace has the option to allow anybody to create news for the system and, you know, publish and bring that up through to the homepage and personalize it as well. So users can see feeds of information that they're relevant to their role and relevant to their office or location. We've also got tools like the quick links, business tools and favorites, so users can customize the links that they want within their page, but also the system can define, so the company can define where particular forms or systems are found, so we can really make it easy. We don't have users having to search for the latest links or find out the new URL after an upgrade. Everything can be managed by the organization, and these things stay up to date, accurate, and simple to use. For the creativity and personalized content, we have things like the social feed. Here we can publish using, you know, standard social tools. So we can @mention people, we can hashtag, do all those things, flag and reply to comments. Users can use this space to create their own content, be it the foodie blog and the reviews that they like to do, or it can be updates about latest systems, new pages, outages, etc. We can really follow the users within an organization who are giving us the relevant information and the feed that we want to see. So we can also create automated pages. So users on their first day can get the personalized feeling that they're getting targeted content without the need for the organization to create these things for every single user. So using what we know about them, we can start helping them build up their profile so we get a better understanding of who they are, what they can do, and how we can utilize that within an organization. We can inform them of the things that they need to do. Here we've got a team example so part of our org chart, we can specify exactly who people are working with and allow them to learn who their peers are very rapidly. So right from the start, they feel like they're part of a bigger culture. So these personalized UIs aren't just for, say, an onboarding process. Let me just grab that next tab. There we go. Okay. So we're quite used to an organizational structure which is very siloed, being in an intranet. And that horizontal kind of siloed content is quite necessary, and it is a valid way for users to find things throughout an organization. But at the same time, we can expand on that with these horizontal and cross-functional teams that may be working on projects or products, things that are kind of multidisciplinary and would potentially get lost in a lot of organizations. So these project pages, for instance, the example that I've put up here today includes things like statuses. We can gather the news from the existing news feed and just filter that down. So we've got a specified page for them. We can include things like the team of users within the actual project. And we can start including things like Jira tickets, project FAQs. We could even include Confluence pages or sources from other systems. That can be content, it can be resources. So we can start bringing in logos, templates, etc. So these are all things that the users are generating within the systems that they're familiar with, within the tools and systems that they need to do their particular job. We don't want to have to force these people to double publish. And again, we want to reduce that complexity so we can get up-to-date relevant content to the end user, and they can find that within a space which is personalized for them. This doesn't need to stop at a single integration. We can create standardized user interfaces, again, reducing that cognitive load and providing them with something which is targeted from any system. I mean, we've got an example here with Google Docs, and we've got a browser here that directly integrates with SharePoint, for instance. So these kinds of add-ons add real value to the system and help aggregate content from multiple places. It doesn't have to live entirely outside of an intranet either. An intranet should be able to deliver content directly. So in this case, I've got an example using SOPs for those in the know, the standard operating procedures. So again, I've got a Confluence integration here, but we can deliver content directly within Squiz Workplace and manage that here with content governance, permissions, etc. So we can ensure that we've got up-to-date and relevant content straight from the internet. Okay. Right, so we've got really targeted, easy to access content, which is great. And the content governance is there, but really we want to ensure and foster that, foster the culture and funnel people into a single place, make them want to be a part of their organization online. So we can do that with other integrations potentially. So technically we can give them tools like a mailbox directly from Outlook or a recent files. So for the systems they're using, be it Google Drive, Docs, or in this case, Teams, we can help them start their day within Squiz Workplace and use it as a channel where they can find the information, adding more value to what they need to do in a single space. We can also create things like surveys, polls. We can allow these users creating their news items to build trivia nights, things that can deliver those that culture that you're looking for. And the tools that we have, the teams and everything that is available to us, we can push that news out into the calendars, to shared calendars, to give it greater accessibility. And while we've got those tools to help us with videos, etc., we can actually help create the why within Squiz Workplace or within your news, to actually understand why we're actually coming to these events, what we're doing. It's not just a calendar event. It's, say, a piece of news which is maybe published in Teams, but the humanity and the quality of the content comes from a place which is respected and trusted. Users can, once they've engaged in this, they can use it for all kinds of tools. So they can start having real conversations about things that they're important or important to them. So they can discuss design, they could discuss the trivia nights, they could get together to communicate about latest sporting events, the whole lot. This is where people can come together and have a conversation. So that's pretty much all I wanted to show you today. I hope we got something out of it. Back to you, Ash.
Thanks, Andrew. That was really insightful. And yeah, definitely. Look, it creates a very good employee experience when everything is available for you at a single go. Oops. Cool. Let's jump into what is next. Yeah, look, as we can see, Squiz Workplace has done so much and it can do so much. But I personally feel that the breakout session would be incomplete without some of the testimonial evidences. So what the customers have to say about Squiz Workplace. Rachel from Castle Hill, she's HR group manager. She has to say, for the club venues, the pandemic was fairly terrifying. We didn't know if we would have a workforce who could reopen our venues. 140 of our staff were not eligible for JobKeeper, but over the 10 weeks we were shut down, we only had 3 resignations in the entire group. That was a testament to our ability to communicate and engage with our staff, and the intranet was a huge part of that. We have Greg Lewis from ABC. He was an internal communications advisor. He says, we wanted to create a place where our employees could gain insight, share stories, and collaborate with colleagues throughout the organization. In association with Squiz, we have created an accessible and easy to use tool for all team members to complete their day-to-day activities. Rinku Razdan, who's a program manager at ABC, says, every time I walk past someone saying, yes, you can find that on intranet, I just smile. So look, there's a lot of information on this breakout session. What I want to do is just summarize the key take-home points for a solid employee experience business case that you can really use within the organization. The employee journey is no longer a 24/7. Employee journey is now a 24/7 journey, with technology playing a very critical role in employee touchpoints. Investing in employee experience reaps bottom line returns and creates better customer experience. Digital simplicity is crucial for an effective digital workplace. The easier the tech, the more and faster it is adopted. The better it is integrated, the stronger is your IT business case to maximize your IT spending. With that, I thank you for your time. If you are interested in fostering an effective digital workplace, or if you're keen on learning more about Squiz Workplace and what it can offer your organization, please feel free to get in touch with us at squiz.net/workplace. And with that, thank you. Thank you for your time once again.